In the annals of early Christian history, few figures shine as brightly as St. Agnes of Rome. Born around 291 AD, this young virgin martyr's tale has captivated believers for centuries. But what if I told you that her story involves miraculous hair growth, divine intervention, and a level of bravery that would make even the toughest Roman soldier quake in his sandals? Stick around as we dive into the extraordinary life of St. Agnes and uncover the facts and legends that have made her one of the most beloved saints in Christian tradition. The year is 304 AD. Roman Empire is at the height of its power, but a new faith is spreading like wildfire through its streets and alleyways. Enter Agnes, a beautiful young girl from a noble Roman family. At just 12 or 13 years old, she's already caught the eye of many suitors, but Agnes has other plans. She's devoted her life to Christ, and no amount of worldly temptation can sway her. Now, you might be thinking, what's so special about a teenage girl refusing marriage proposals? Well, buckle up, because this is where things get interesting. You see, Agnes lived during the reign of Emperor Diocletian, a time when being a Christian was about as safe as juggling flaming swords while blindfolded. Diocletian's persecution of Christians was brutal and relentless. When Agnes refused to renounce her faith and marry a pagan, she wasn't just turning down a suitor, she was signing her own death warrant. But our girl Agnes? She stood firm even in the face of threats, torture, and death. Here's where the story takes a turn for the legendary. According to early accounts, Agnes was stripped naked and paraded through the streets of Rome. But instead of being humiliated, something miraculous happened. Her hair suddenly grew to cover her entire body, preserving her modesty. Talk about a bad hair day for her persecutors. But wait, there's more. When they tried to burn her at the stake, the flames reportedly parted around her, leaving her unharmed. It was like a divine force field straight out of a superhero movie. Finally exasperated and probably more than a little freaked out, her executioners resorted to beheading her. Now, you might be wondering, how do we know all this? Is this just some medieval fan fiction? Well, not quite. While some elements of Agnes' story have certainly been embellished over time, her existence and martyrdom are well documented in early Christian writings. One of the earliest and most reliable sources we have is St. Ambrose, the Bishop of Milan, writing in the late 4th century just a few decades after Agnes' death. Ambrose provides a detailed account of her martyrdom. He describes Agnes as a young girl who faced her persecutors with unwavering faith and courage. Another important source is Pope Damasus I, who composed an epitaph for Agnes' tomb in the mid-4th century. This inscription, still visible today in the Church of San Agnes fuori le Mura in Rome, attests to the early veneration of Agnes as a martyr. What we can say with certainty is that Agnes was a real person who lived in Rome during the early 4th century. She was a Christian at a time when that was a dangerous thing to be, and she died for her faith at a very young age. The core of her story, her refusal to renounce Christianity or to marry a pagan, is consistent across various early sources. In the centuries following her death, Agnes became one of the most popular saints in Christian tradition. She's often depicted in art holding a lamb, a symbol of her name and her purity. She's the patron saint of young girls, chastity, and rape survivors. But Agnes' influence extends far beyond the realm of religious devotion. Her feast day, January 21st, became associated with various folk traditions. In some parts of Europe, young women would perform divination rituals on St. Agnes' Eve, hoping to dream of their future husbands. It's like the medieval version of swiping right, but with more candles and less ghosting. Agnes' story has also inspired countless works of art and literature over the centuries. From the poems of Prudenius in the 4th century to John Keats's The Eve of St. Agnes in the 19th, her tale has captured the imagination of artists and writers for nearly 2 millennia. But why does Agnes' story continue to resonate with people today? In an age of Instagram influencers and TikTok stars, what can we learn from a teenage martyr from ancient Rome? Well, for starters, Agnes' story is one of incredible courage and conviction. Whether you're religious or not, There's something undeniably powerful about a young girl standing up to the might of an empire for what she believes in. It's a reminder that age doesn't determine bravery, and that true strength often comes from unexpected places. Moreover, Agnes' story speaks of themes that are still relevant today: the power of faith, the importance of standing up for one's beliefs, and the courage to defy societal expectations. In a world where we're constantly bombarded with messages about how we should look, act, and think, Agnes' unwavering commitment to her own path is both inspiring and challenging. But perhaps the most enduring aspect of Agnes' legacy is the way her story has evolved over time. From a historical martyr to a legendary saint, from a symbol of purity to a patron of rape survivors, Agnes has been reinterpreted and reimagined by each generation to speak to their own needs and concerns. And that, my friends, is the true power of stories like Agnes's. They're not just dusty old tales from a bygone era. They're living, breathing narratives that continue to inspire, challenge, and comfort people nearly 2 millennia after they first unfolded. So the next time you're feeling overwhelmed by life's challenges, remember Agnes. Remember the 13-year-old girl who stood up to an empire. Remember the saint whose hair miraculously grew to protect her modesty. Remember the symbol of courage and conviction that has inspired millions over the centuries. And who knows? Maybe you'll find a bit of Agnes' courage in yourself. Maybe you'll stand a little taller, speak a little louder, or hold on to your convictions a little more tightly. Because if a teenage girl from ancient Rome could change the world, just imagine what you could do. But hey, that's just my 2 denarii. What do you think about St. Agnes and her incredible story? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more historical deep dives. Until next time, keep being legendary.